Alright, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and get it started. Thank you all for coming. Go ahead and drop some ones in the chat if you can hear me. I'm gonna drop some ones for me, please. There you go. There you go. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Bet. Welcome to the call, guys. My name is Shaun. I'm pretty much just gonna go over essentially how my brain works when it comes to marking up my charts. What I personally use when it comes to setting up my trades for the team, what I'm looking for, and how I try to simplify it for myself so that way I'm not overthinking it. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to share my screen. Go ahead and drop some threes in the chat if you can see my screen. See some threes. See some threes. Bet. All right, cool. All right, so first and foremost, okay, partner with IM Mastery, correct? So they give us this amazing tool called the Harmonic Scanner, and we're not paying $175 every month to not use this product because I'm not gonna lie to you, it's caught us a lot of pips, especially on a Sunday evening. It's been like that for the past 2 weeks. And if we know things about charts, we know that they work in patterns, okay? And so, you know what I said? I said, I'm about to just look at the same pairs I made money from every Sunday. I'm going to hit up the Harmonic Scanner, see what it does, okay? So, I'm going to go look for NZD USD. That's kind of been my heat as of recently. As you all know, the markets are closed. And so, with that, we are still able to mark up charts, but that's still good because we can then set up for the next week. And so typically on Sundays I go to Harmonics, wait till about 8 p.m. to start trading, and the first thing I always do before I trade is I go to Forex Factory. Okay, Forex Factory is like, it's like your guidelines for the day. Typically I look at it and I look to see what currency pairs have any kind of news going on in that area of the world, or essentially, just for the day. Could be for our country, could be for the European countries, could be for anything. So I'm going to look at the news for yesterday. And typically when I go on here, I filter out certain folders. Okay, usually it's like this. It has all the folders. So there's a lot of noise going on. We only really want the gray and the red folders. Okay, the gray is the least amount of impact. Red is the most amount of impact, okay? And by the way, we need to be telling people about the fact that we are learning on a Friday night at 8 p.m. People could be out, businesses open today at 5 p.m. So who knows what's actually open, but in any regard, it's just the fact that we're still supplying our brain with knowledge. We're still feeding it so that way we can be successful for the next week. So if you're not putting this on Instagram, I'm gonna need you to tighten up, for real. Let them know you're trying to get to the bag early. People think it's time to take a break when it's the weekend. You can still get to the bag, but let them know that you're still out here learning. Okay. Okay. So what I do, I'm looking for red folders, gray folders, and so yesterday I was looking at just pairs. And honestly, I was trying to call some for the team, and I was like, I don't really know what I can call, but I noticed, I think it was GBP AUD, was really the only pair that looked safe to trade. And so, especially around the time I was doing it, I typically trade between about 8 p.m., 9 p.m., all the way till about 12 p.m., or 12 a.m. And so that's when Sydney session is open, and that's when the Asian session is open as well. And so I typically look for pairs that are active around that time. I tried London session. I want to say it opens around 3 a.m. and I like my sleep too. So if I know I'm awake around that time, then I might do some trading. But essentially, these pairs move a little bit slower. The Sydney and Tokyo session pairs. But that's not a bad thing because you can set it up a lot easier. Okay. So let's see. Drop some pairs in the chat. Like, just any pair that you typically like to trade or that you pay attention to. Go ahead and drop it in the chat. Okay. I typically like NZD, USD. I like NZD, JPY, AUD, USD sometimes. It just depends. I feel like there's a lot of USD news, just especially as of recently, and so that one's a little funky to trade sometimes. But just waking up to news sometimes isn't the best thing. News will basically, what news does to trades is that it'll give it a reason to react, a reason to move, and sometimes it won't be in your favor. And so just having that extra confirmation to make sure, okay, it's safe to trade, is good. But usually with the USD pairs, it can be hit or miss, because it's like right when you wake up, the news might affect the trade early or a little bit later. Okay. So basically, I went on here. I saw, okay, no GBP news, no AUD news. So I was like, cool. Let me call out GA for the squad, and we definitely hit TP. So go ahead and drop some fours in the chat if you made money this week with us. Shoot, drop some fours in the chat if you made money last night from that trade. Yeah, I see. SPX, you already know, man. I see Mr. 1K. I saw you trade now. That's how you made your 1K. Quick, let's edify Mr. 1K real quick. He definitely made $1,000 off SPX multiple times, so shouts out to him. Okay. All right. So once I figure out that, all right, it's cool to trade. I can figure out what I want to trade. I go to my harmonic scanner, right? Our harmonic scanner is going to give me all the answers. All right. So I went to let's start with GA first. Let's see how it looks. So one thing I noticed about the harmonic scanner, when I first started using it, I would always use the top three in each different broker, and I always start with FX Choice because it's just the first one that's up there. So I clicked on it. I was like, cool. What we know about the harmonic scanner is that it marks up our chart for us, essentially. Okay, so it has our entry point, so it's telling you when to get in, and I'll tell you exactly how I use each part of the harmonic scanner. We have our stop loss, so this is giving us a stop loss, and then it gives us our TPs. And I want people to drop some twos in the chat if you have finished your training on IM Mastery. I want to see who's really tapped in, because if you did not finish it, then you do not know how to use the harmonic scanner, which means you don't know how to make money for yourself. We don't want to wait for signals from me and Tosin. we gonna try to bless you as best we can, or from Gold Cup, but we want to be self-sufficient too, and this is going to help us get there. All right. So what I realized about harmonic scanner is that, one, we have things like buy stops, sell stops, sell limits, buy limits, all that good stuff. Each and every one of these indicators is telling us what we can use in those moments. Okay. So we can treat our TP1 as, especially if it's a sell, this can be treated as a floor. If market was about here in this area, and we knew it hadn't actually touched TP1 yet, we can treat this as a support. All right, and then we have our entry point, which could be considered as our ceiling. So essentially, if we know that it's already bounced off of, we understand what break and retest is, and we understand that the market is going to try and retest that ceiling, we know that if we wait till we get about here, we can get back into that trade and then capitalize and go right back to TP1, and then which, we're hoping that it will break through, and which it did. We see it broke through, and after breaking through, it's now created a new ceiling. So now TP1 is treated as your ceiling, okay? And now TP1 is your floor. So we're trying to get back basically to the floor. And as we see, this is where price stopped at. So it not only broke through TP1, but it also smashed through TP2, okay? So we see all this area that needs to be covered up. And so when the week starts, it's possibly safe to say that we can start selling this, okay? And so we just know that once it's broken through, we're gonna wait for a retest of TP2. And once it retests, okay, let me use my trend line. Once we broke through, it's gonna try and retest here, and then it's gonna shoot downward. Now we also know that the market is not always going to move in a straight line. Well, it never does. So it's going to take its little baby steps, okay? Okay, I want people to put in the chat: impulse, correction, continuation. Alright? impulse, correction, continuation. If we understand that the market moves in this pattern, we'll always know when to get out of a trade and when to get back in a trade. Because sometimes when the market impulses, it might impulse back up. So I'll see if I can find an example of that happening. Like here, okay? Let's say we didn't know past this point. I'm gonna draw a vertical line for y'all. Let's say I didn't know what was past this line I just drew, okay? It's like bet. We just got an impulse. We know it's gonna correct. And we essentially wanted to continue, but that's not what happened. Because what happened was it broke through this entry point, which is essentially a zone. Broke through, tried to retest it, and it touched it. But not only touched it, it broke through it. So now we don't really know what's actually gonna happen. So in that moment, it's a little shaky to see if we can stay in that trade. I personally would have gotten in there just yet, but patience is gonna pay you. So we're gonna wait and see if it breaks back through that zone, okay? And the best thing about the harmonic scanner is that it draws it up for you. It's telling you like, hey, Shaun, this is a respected zone throughout this whole chart. If we back test, and what it means to back test is just to look to the left. Okay, hold on. We're consistently looking back to the left. You can see the zone it's respected in some regard because right here it starts to consolidate. But before it got to that point, it hadn't been touched in a very long time. I'm still back testing. This is off the hour, by the way. Okay, it's getting closer. I can tell it's going down. Sometimes it takes a while for it to come back to that zone, but as you can see, this is crazy. Sometimes back testing it can take a little while. Typically I do my markups on TradingView, which I'll kind of get to, but essentially that zone hadn't been broken in a very long time. So when it finally did, okay, it consolidated, played around in it, gave us a little fake out. Fake out pretty much means the market wanted to go there, but it's like, nah, I'm not ready yet. Came back above the zone, played on top of it for a little bit, finally broke through, and then it stayed below. Okay, this little thing came and retested it, and now we're back to where we currently are. Okay, harmonic scanner is calling for a sell. So what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna look for a sell. Essentially, I'm not saying it's gonna always be a sell, but what I'm saying is it's projecting that it's a possibility. So what I do after that is I go to my TradingView. Okay, drop some threes in the chat. You've used TradingView. It's helped you kind of make money in tandem with using the harmonic scanner. Nice, Samira, I think I said it right. Okay, good. Yeah, I got a lot of people using TradingView. This is also in your training on IM Mastery, okay? Not only is the harmonic scanner a part of your training, but TradingView is too. TradingView, I kind of treat it like an open canvas. I can see a lot more. I can do a lot more. It moves a lot faster for my tastes as well. It also keeps your markups too. Look for rejection. I don't know when I put that, but at some point in time, I was looking for a rejection, and it possibly made me money. I'm just gonna clear it though. All right. So what I did was, it called for a sell. I'm gonna show y'all some sauce. It's actually kind of crazy. I actually learned this with the ladies of forex, Chelsea and Jasmine. Drop some fives in the chat if you tuned in with them before, because they are always dropping knowledge, and a lot of what I learned is honestly through them and a mixture of Go Live, and I'll give you a nice recommendation for who I use for that. But definitely taught me some sauce. I'm gonna put y'all on though. I hope y'all are taking notes, by the way. Okay, drop some twos in the chat. Everyone is understanding where I'm coming from. They understand just simply using the harmonic scanner it's gonna give you a nice push in the right direction. It's going to help you make some money. Okay? Good. People are listening. Very good. Okay, so I take it to TradingView. Now, what we understand about marking up charts is that we need to do top-down analysis. What top-down analysis does is it helps us guide us to that point in where market currently is, okay? And so we always want to start on the monthly, all right? Now, we understand that every one of these candlesticks is formed after a month passes. So if you look at the bottom where it says, like the date, it says 01 July 19, 03 June 19. Every month it's getting a reading, okay? And what we can actually do is we can highlight one candle and start doing a top-down analysis from that candle and actually see what happened essentially in real time. So what I've been doing and what I learned from Chelsea and Jasmine is that we can isolate the actual month we're in and see what's happening. And so how we do that, we're going to identify some fundamental basics of the charts. So if you understand resistance, support and resistance, go ahead and drop some 5s in the chat, please. We understand that resistance is our ceiling. So this is essentially the highest point in which the market touched before it either broke through it or retested it and bounced off of it to the downside, okay? And then we want to find our support, which is our floor, which is the opposite. We want to see, you know, what happens when market touches that floor or essentially that zone in which it's going to either bounce off of it or break through it to go further past it, okay? And so, let me see, move some of this out the way. I personally use the MACDs, this indicator. If you want, you can also copy my my settings for it. It's pretty much standard, and what it does, I'll explain what I'm looking for when I use it. But I'll leave this up. I'll give y'all about 60 seconds to copy this down. Now, you don't have to use MACDs. I personally use it on, well, just about everything now, because the confirmations that it gives me is essentially the histogram, which is that middle part, this little blue part right here that I'm kind of hovering over. Once those two lines pass through it, that's like it passing through a zone. And so when it's doing that, I know if the blue is above the orange, it's going for a buy. Okay, especially if it's crossing through. And so I'll kind of back test that a little bit. All right, drop some 3s in the chat if you got the settings or you screenshot it, whatever you need to do. If you don't got them, I can just send them to you. Just DM me, whatever it takes. Okay, then the style, everything's the same. Everything's the same. Okay. Yeah, everything's the same. Yes, y'all please take notes. Note takers are money makers, and I'm definitely the product of that. So if y'all make money with us, you know why? Because I take my notes. Tosin, he takes his notes. Shoot, I took my notes from Tosin. Now look at me. I'm traded too. He taught me what he knows, and now, you know, I just kind of went with it and started doing my own stuff with it. We put our heads together. We get on TradingView and different calls together and make sure that, you know, when we put out a trade, it makes sense for everyone. It's that teamwork that's really going to make the dream work. Just not even to be cliche about it, but that's literally what it is. If we're not helping each other out, like, it's not going to happen. It's only two people essentially trading for the team and for ourselves. You know, we're not going to get as much success, but at the same time, we're putting in that work to make sure that it makes sense too. So that's why I definitely encourage people to pick our brains and ask us. I've had people like Ray, Mr. 1K himself, Max, different people really like ask me questions like, hey, like, what do you look for in a chart? Like, how do you mark up your charts? You know, what notes did you take in this call? Because, you know, I want to see what, you know, how it works for you. Okay. So back to this. So we have our support on the bottom, it's our floor, resistance, our ceiling. All right. And then we're going to take the actual candle and we're going to mark up that resistance on the candle wick and then the bottom of it. And then what we're going to do is take the ellipses and we're just going to highlight it and put that on it right there, okay? And what we have done is isolated the market, essentially the month that we're currently in. Once we've done that, and we could honestly do this too, use a trend line. Off rip, I can already tell this is a downtrend, so cool. Overall, it's a downtrend, so perfect. That's what we got. All right. So what I'm gonna do now is go down to the weekly. Like I said, we're only focused on this month. Yes, we have other stuff going on in the back, but right now we're just trying to confirm what's going on in the now. And essentially, what I'm going off of is the harmonic scanner. Like I said, you know, it's calling for a sell. All right, well, let me see why it's calling for a sell. All right, right here. Okay, so now we're on the weekly. All right, so this candle right here. Well, first of all, that ellipses has now highlighted essentially where we are in this month, which is awesome because now we see that we have the start of the month, huge sell, huge engulfing bearish candle right here. Okay. Right here, and then it's just an overall downtrend, and we can see that it's also touched that support line. All right, drop some fives if you see what I'm seeing right now. Like, this is a clear downtrend. All right, so we're gonna just we're just gonna keep confirming that trend on each. Let's see. Oh, let me make some breathing kind of hard. Hold on a second.
Oh, that's me. My fault.
You good. I just want to make sure everyone good. You good to go, man. Okay, so got a smooth downtrend. That's perfect. As we can see, it's pretty tight right about here. And so the most it can really do is either create a new candle and bounce off of this trend line and then shoot downward, or it can break through it and just go to the upside. Well, like I said, we're just trying to figure out what's happening now. All right, and that's all I need to look for. Still in a downtrend, so let's go to the daily. If you can help it, try to add another line, another trend line when you're doing this. Okay, I'm on the daily. Still in a downtrend, okay? Now, one thing I've also learned too is you want to make sure that at least two lines touch, or two wicks are touching when it comes to your downtrends or your uptrends. Okay, it doesn't always have to be perfect, but you want to make sure at least two are touching. So I have this one touching right here, and this one right here is touching. Same thing as when you understand support and resistance. Once it touches that zone, it's either going to bounce up, or it's going to break through or bounce off of it and break through it. Okay, and so every time it's touched this trend line, you see that it just bounces off. Perfect. Okay, that's the daily. Go to the 4 hour. Okay, this is where it's like, all right, what is it actually trying to do? So we see right here, okay, we're still looking at from where that downtrend started. Started all the way up here. Whew. If we knew that was going down like it was, and we got in that trade for the sell from there, we'd be up almost 1,000 pips. At least. At most, 980. At least about 917. So that's not bad at all. That's actually really good. That's actually perfect. So simply marking up your charts, you already see the power in that. It's helping you, it's guiding you to your essential trade idea. Okay. So from here, I don't think I really even need to draw another trend line, but you see it's still in a downtrend. But you will notice that it has touched the zone, the support zone. It bounced up, okay, and now we're back on this trend line. So maybe just trying to retest a little bit, or pull back, grab some of that liquidity, just to keep going to the downside. But now when I look at my histogram, I notice that it is also moving above the orange, which means going for the buy. Okay, it's really far away from the middle of it, so it's still safe to say that it could sell some more. But we do know that it did buy a little bit, and so if you're a scalper and you knew that once it bounced off that zone, it was going to continue, it was going to buy a little bit, you could have grabbed about 150 pips. Not bad. 170 at most. That's pretty good. Okay. But I'm looking for the overall sell. Okay, pullbacks are nice, but like I said, I want to capture the whole move, and so I'm just going to look for that move. That's it. All right, and then we get down to the 1 hour. Now we kind of see what's going on here. You see on the 1 hour, it has broken through. Oh, this is why I love the MACD so much. Okay, you see that. Let me get this vertical line. I'm about to get hype on y'all. You see that right here, roughly right here. This is where the histogram had crossed, or the MACDs had crossed. Okay, once we get that cross, we could either look for the buy now that it's gotten past this point, or look for that reversal to back to this sell. Okay, and if we look at the overall picture from here, did a lot of selling, touched support, bounced off to touch this trend line, and now it's above it. Now it's trailing above it. And so what happened was it looked like it just grabbed liquidity, and liquidity essentially is just the banks trying to capture that money that was lost. So they're like, hey, look, we need to get some of this back. So once they did it, it could either go to the upside or continue that downtrend. And it looks like it's continuing the downtrend. All right, and now it even broke this trend line. So if you understand break and retest, go ahead and put a 1 in the chat, because you know if it touches, it closes below this trend line and it comes and touches it, we're going to the downside. For everyone, drop some money bags in the chat. Some money. We're going right back down with that trend. We're going to continue to profit from that. And if you look at the histogram, this is also telling us that now that it's crossed, the orange is above the blue. It's getting ready for that cross. And once it crosses that orange, it's definitely safe to get in that sell. Of course, we have to be patient though. But simply by marking this all up, I typically go from the month to the week, to the daily, to the 4 hour, to the 1 hour. We could go down to the 30-minute. But honestly, look, it's crazy. Drop a 5 in the chat if you see exactly what just happened. It broke through. It touched that trend line. I haven't even drawn the trend on the 30-minute yet, but it's literally giving me this confirmation, and it's also below this extra one I drew up, just kind of mapping it out. Sometimes it's that perfect. Okay, this is gonna keep dropping. Okay, for those that, or even ask, drop some 2s in the chat if you've read the Candlestick Pattern Bible. I'm gonna drop some in the chat too, because I definitely read that book. Okay, someone tell me what this is called right here. This one right here. Someone tell me what that is. And what that indicates. Yes, Mr. 1K has raised his hand. What's the answer, sir? It's the gravestone doji right there. Okay, that's indicating the reversal. So that line, this wick, actually that's good you started it. I'm sure within the first 15 pages it's leveled you up as a trader. Am I wrong or am I right? Because I remember I read that book. I started it. I didn't finish it at first. And I was like, dang, I need to finish it. But those 15, 20 pages I read was everything. That was the difference in my trading already. And so when I finished it, I already knew, like, okay, this is going to help me tenfold, okay? Yes, gravestone doji. So that just means that market tried to touch that zone and rejected it super hard and went right back down. So now it's safe to say that it's going to keep selling. Okay. We're looking at the histogram. It's already crossed it. Huge impulse of a sell. Okay. We caught somewhere, I don't remember what time it was. We caught a good amount of these pips. We caught like 20 pips or 20, 30 pips. But if you held the trade, you're still in profit. Almost 100 pips. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to hold y'all too long, because I'm just kind of giving you an example of what I'm looking for in a trade. Typically it takes about 15 minutes, 10-15 minutes. Okay, if I'm really looking at it, it might take about 30. But I want to make sure that my confirmation is correct. So once I get down to here and I see, okay, clearly this is what I wanted to do, I can also confirm the downtrend here since I'm already here. About here is fine. Okay, we're gonna click on the monthly, and the crazy part is we're gonna actually project the overall move for this pair for the whole month. See those lines? This is like the heartbeat of that candle. Everything we just did is projecting that move. Look at the histogram. It's setting up for a really big sell. Now, I don't know what would actually drive it to sell even further. We would have to pay attention to the news. But as of right now, these two pairs, GBP, AUD, is selling. And I go back to my harmonic scanner. This thing will go away. Go away. There you go. It's calling for a sell. If you know how the RSI works, it was at a high point. It was almost at the 70. But if it's at the 70, that means that the market is pretty much overbought at a certain point. It might go a little past it, but we know that it has to come down at some point. And that's what it's doing. It's trying to touch this 30 line. Hopefully it passes it, but it's projecting a pretty huge sell. Okay? So let's see how much pips. Oh my god. Yeah, we got about, I think on harmonics it reads the pips a little differently. But it's projecting another about 56 pips. I think we take the last number off. That's just moderate, you know, but what we also know about the market is that if it were to break this support on TP3, look how much room we actually have to make money. I can't even really drag out how much money it's actually going to try and capture because it's been so long since it's actually been this low. Okay? So, essentially, marking up your charts is going to tell you everything. That each time frame is going to tell you a story. You saw that it bought for a little bit. It bought just to sell. Okay, it could be pulling back. We don't know. From that initial uptrend, we had a slight uptrend. Nothing too crazy on the monthly. Nothing too crazy. Okay. But we see that we have an overall downtrend here because it has not grabbed all the liquidity from this area. So it is safe to say that we're just in a downtrend. Drop some threes in the chat if you see that. Clear downtrend. Okay. Y'all want to get real crazy with it? Drop in the chat what this is called. What that little formation is called. Let's see who knows. Let's see. Essentially, yes, it is an ascending channel right here, but we also have this little part right here. Okay. Essentially, this is a bearish flag. When we have bearish flags, we always know at the end of the flag is going to reverse. So we see it is going up. Yes, ascending channel. Essentially the same thing. The extra confirmation is this downtrend right here. But overall, here actually I can back test it a little bit. Okay, I don't want to hold y'all here too long. Just want to show you this. We have here a little bit of a ranging market. A ranging market essentially is just consolidation. Okay, it could have broke to the downside, or like it did here, it broke to the upside. That's fine. Then went up. Not perfect, but we do see that it did break structure, and it went for a deeper sell. But I will say it also created a higher low here, so we don't really know where this market's going. Again, this is off the monthly, so this is just what it's showing. Could be on an uptrend, could be on a downtrend, but essentially we're just looking for the now. Okay? If you're a swing trader, trading off the monthly is your friend. you know, you're essentially waiting on the bigger move. But if you're like me, I like to get my money now. I'll look at it on the 1 hour. Try to find a nice entry on the 15-minute, 30-minute. If the impulse is crazy, I'll get my entry off the 5-minute. But essentially, 15 minutes is your best friend when it comes to just re-entering the market or just trying to figure out when it's a good time to get in, because you want to look at the overall trend. Okay. And off the 1 hour, it still looks like it has some selling to do. So cool, we're gonna sell it. Might sell for two more hours, might sell for 3 more hours, but at least we know that it's up here trying to sell, and that's good. On the 4 hour, it might just go up for a little bit just to sell some more. But off the 1 hour, this is your best friend when you want to get those quick moves, okay? If y'all have any questions or anything, feel free to drop them. We got about, I don't know, Tosin, how long you want me to go on for? I can go on all day about this, man. Any questions? Any concerns? Drop some ones in the chat if you definitely got some value out of this. Since Smash TTD will be quick that at our stop loss, since we have a higher chance of hitting. Yeah, so essentially it can become your stop loss, but you also want to make sure that you give it enough room too. So let me see. GBP AUD. So TP2, we're here, okay? So say you broke through. Alright, we definitely don't want to make it our stop loss just yet. We want to wait till it's about, let me see. So it's already broken through. Just trying to retest it. Let's look at it on the 15-minute. Oh, did it just move? I'm like, wait, the market is closed. Yeah, right about now it's kind of hard. It would be a little difficult to make it TP or make it stop loss. So you might want to make TP1 your stop loss. So we broke through it, cool. Now this is a GBP pair, so your stop loss is going to be a little bit bigger just for the safety because they do move a little faster. So you make it about a 42 pip stop loss, okay? But you also can see that this is a zone that was broken, and it's like it would be very hard for it to come back and break this. So anything above TP1, until you know for sure that TP2 has broken, and then since price is here, we wanted to retest TP2 and then shoot to the downside. Once it's about close to TP3, then yes, it'll definitely be safe to make TP2 your stop loss. Does that make sense? Cool. Because I'm not gonna lie, like, yes, TP3 is nice, but we're not always gonna hit it. I'm gonna be honest. We're not always gonna get there, and so we always want to still look at market structure. We still want to confirm our downtrend. You still want to make sure that it's still on a solid, smooth downtrend to the downside. So it's like it'd be less likely for it to come up. The only time it really come up is when it's pulling back. But like I said, this is a GBP pair, so the pullback can be a little crazy. And so just looking at this on the 15-minute, it's about to touch the 30 line on the RSI. Definitely safe to say it's going to pull back some. So I would leave my TP above TP1 like slightly, or my stop loss above TP1 about this area. At about 40-45 pips just in case. You want to give it some breathing room. The more you mark up your charts and trade specific pairs, you'll get used to it. I noticed with London-based pairs like GBP pairs, you want to give it about 40 to 50 pips of stop loss because it will pull back. Sometimes it'll wick the area, so it'll go up to that point in market, and then it'll shoot right back down to where you want it to be, just to kind of grab all those entry points and stop loss, everyone in that point, and then continue to the downside or to whatever trend or direction you want to go. So just a fair warning with GBP pairs. But everything else is about 30 to 40 pips is reasonable. Just from my knowledge, as long as I've been trading for. I've been trading for about 5 months now, so learning some interesting things about it. But The slower pairs, I definitely notice it'll still pay you. You just gotta have the patience with it. But the stop losses aren't as hefty. So it's one of those things. Any other questions? Concerns? You're welcome. I would go over Fibonacci retracement tool, but that's more detailed. So the next time I get on the call, I'll definitely talk about that. That kind of helps me with my entries, so long as the market is still going in the trend it's intended for. But other than that, yeah, essentially I go to the harmonic scanner. I see what it's calling for. I make sure I go to this is another website too. Converter. This site right here. I'm actually gonna post it in the chat. Bookmark it. Save it. Do what you have to do. This is a very important tool because it's gonna tell you what time, what sessions are open in that time period. Why is this not okay? This website right here. Anytime you want to get on the chart, just go down, select your time zone, America, New York. Most of us are on the East Coast, so I do that, and it literally tells you for each London or each session, when it opens and when it closes, and the status is in. So if something is open, definitely hop on the chart, hop on harmonic scanner, and just see what profits you can get, see what the harmonic scanner is calling up for it, and mark up your chart and see what you can call for yourself for the team. That's not to say you can't trade certain pairs when they're closed. It's just that when it's open, the money tends to move faster, and so that's what I'm looking for when I'm trading. I try to stay within those open times for those sessions. Yeah, go here, check, make sure things are good. Over time, you'll get used to when things open. I go to Forex Factory. I check what news is going on for the day. It looked pretty safe for GBP AUD, so I called it for the team. Made a little 20-30 pips. If you stay in the trade, you're still in profit. Cool. I go to harmonic scanner. I look up some pairs I think looks cool, and then I go to my trading view and I just go from there. Start my monthly and just start working down. That's pretty much what I do on top of just getting on calls, informational calls with Chelsea and Jasmine, TK. Drop some fives in the chat if you made some money with TK this week. He's been on a roll like every single day. I'm gonna drop my 5. Definitely made me some money. Trading SPX all week. Probably gonna start doing it every week now because people really vibing with it. I mean, he's making money. Why would you not tap in? Why would you not learn and apply yourself, Learn how you can do that for yourself and help another person do it too. And one last thing I just want to touch on, of course we want to use our products, we're paying for it, so let's get the most out of it. I use Go Live, and what Go Live is, essentially what Trade House is doing for the family, I Am Mastery is doing this for its customers. It's IBOs. It's allowing us to access their educators and tap in with them. It's the same vibe. They have a live chat box. Sometimes I see people chatting in the box when when the person's not actually there. People try to stay active and try to get as much information as possible. Steven Salindor definitely had an opportunity to talk with him. But he's a very awesome person. He's a normal person like us. He just happens to be a millionaire that's made money in the foreign exchange. And so the only way people can actually get on Go Live is if they made that much money in the market. And so the cool thing is, they can have favorite sessions. They can favorite certain sessions and they can name them. And, it might be something that makes sense. Like, he even has a mindset call. I need to watch that one. It's 2 hours long. Like, who knows what he might have said in there. Currently, I've been studying this video, the breakdown of flag patterns and how to enter. This has helped me with my entry points, and also I learned how to use the MACD from this video. And that's all I use now. I use MACD with Gold Cup. I use it with Harmonic Scanner. And it's been helping me a lot. You know, you just want to find that person that matches your schedule and either tap in with them live or watch their past videos. The other thing about marking up charts is, you know, your charts don't go anywhere. On TradingView, it'll save it and it'll stay there as long as you keep it, as long as you don't clear it. And so you can mark up your charts like theirs and have their similar setups and just wait for the same thing they're waiting for, make money. But other than that, yeah, go live is awesome. Use your products, everyone. Type some threes in the chat for products, product usage. More product usage. We need that. How else are we gonna make it, family? Okay. Other than that, you know, hope everyone got some value out of this. Took some notes. Definitely feel free to hit me up. My Instagram. Drop it for y'all. TKD_Shaun. If y'all in TTD with us, you already know. You got my Telegram. Hit me up. We can mark up charts together. Me and Tosin, Nigel, Joseph, we like to get on the charts sometimes late night, sometimes early morning, and just chop it up and then try to make money for everyone. And so, yeah, it's always a fun time. I definitely highly suggest people mark up their charts more, especially if you're an artsy person. You know, you kind of tap into that side of yourself with it too. Kind of start changing up your candle colors, and I actually had a different color scheme, but I actually had my cousin here. I was kind of teaching him some stuff, but yeah, it's all here. Tap into your products, everyone. Like just utilize everything you have in front of you. Pick the brains of those that are helping you make money, so that you can make money for the next person. But other than that, that's all I got for y'all. Drop some fives in the chat if you got some value from this. Drop some fives. You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm gonna drop some fives for myself. Every time I find myself teaching about the markets, I learn something new. I always can take it to the markets for the next week and then apply it. You know, gotta learn it first, and then when you apply it, you start earning. So that's the name of this game. So other than that, thanks for tuning in, everyone. You know, great trainings as always. Thanks, Tosin, for letting me do this. You know what I'm saying? I want to do more of these, so just put me on, coach.
I got you, my boy.
Appreciate it. But yeah,
I really appreciate y'all tapping in with Shaun. Y'all have a blessed day. Stay safe. Peace and love.
All right, take care, everyone. Hey, that's that.